Howdy and welcome. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude with a big old bottle of whiskey right here. Some people call it scotch. And this is Whiskey Chat. And today's topic is board gaming conventions, specifically talking a little about my experience at Cape Fear Games hosted Board Games at the Beach. There we go. All right, so let's get a drink first. Go get yourself something. I am drinking Aberlour. Let me know in the comments what you are drinking. I'm a solo gamer, probably like you, so I don't play with others a whole lot, but I do enjoy it. What's interesting though is the games I like to play multiplayer are not the games that I like to play solo in most cases. Some social deduction games that came out. Now, I am not a fan of the theme of Ultimate Werewolf. I'm not into werewolf themes. So I would love, that was the game that was played, but I would love to know, if you can let me know, is there a remasking of that game? Because I love the mechanic, I guess you could say, of the social deduction, the conversation. I love it. I just want another theme. I just want another theme is all. So please let me know if there are others. But it was nice. It was a group of about 8 people or so, and I did not know how to play, and I ruined it. The first game, I almost ruined it for everybody because I didn't understand the strategy. But anyway, that's a game where one of you it's basically like playing that game Blink or Murder. One of you is a murderer, and the rest of you are trying to figure out who the murderer is before you get killed. So during the day, you all have a certain amount of time or unlimited time to talk and try and figure out who is the killer or killers, depending on the size of your group, and who is on your side. And as the villagers, you might have some special abilities. There are no cards other than your roll card, which you keep secret, so it's a hidden roll game. And then at nighttime, so during the daytime, you can accuse someone of being a wolf, and you need to really hope that you're right, because I forget what happens if you're wrong. I think they are eliminated from the game. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Well, the thing is, if you don't find somebody at night, then they kill somebody every night. So the longer it goes, the more your chances are of getting eliminated, and you don't want that. But even after being eliminated, it was fun to sit and just watch the game play out. So thoroughly enjoyed it, but I need a different theme because that theme is not for me. Anyway, let me know in the comments, when you play in a social event, what kind of games do you usually play and what do you enjoy and why? You know, let us know, respond to each other. And also, if you're enjoying these videos, please give me a like. It lets me know what you like, but it also helps this channel to get featured and spread to others so that we can keep this solo gaming hobby and just board gaming in general going. So thank you for the like, and all of you who subscribe, I appreciate it so much. It's a lot of fun. Played Codenames Pictures, and that's where you have a team. It's a team versus team game. So we had teams of 3 and 3, and one person is the person that gives hints and the other 2 try to decipher. So what you have is a series of pictures on the board, and the code giver, I guess, is trying to get you to flip over certain tiles. They have a map in front of them, and if you're blue team, it's only the code giver knows you have to flip over these 6 tiles, and they're randomly picked. Red has their 6 tiles, and as the code breakers, we don't know what those tiles are. But so the code giver will look at the pictures and look for commonalities and be like, well, these 2 pictures have trees. So they'll do something like, say, trees for 2. And what that means is we have to find 2 tiles that have trees. That's why she says 2. Or if it was 3, she'd say trees for 3. But there might be 5 tiles with trees, and we have to be able to pick the right ones. So if you flip over the right ones, then you work toward your team, and it's whoever flips over all your colored tiles first wins. But if you flip over the wrong one, you either help the other team, or you can accidentally flip over like an innocent, and that ends your turn. So that was like a party game, and it's not my kind of game, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it, and I would have it around for others, but it's a challenge. to be the code giver, particularly. All right, anyway, so we did Codenames, pictures. And, oh yeah, Fiasco, Saturday morning. So Fiasco is a storytelling game. There isn't really a win or lose condition. It's not social deduction. You're actually live writing a script. So it's a 2-hour play. And that makes sense because you are basically writing a heist movie together as a group with all of the ups and the downs that come with it. Grab another sip here. Now, I didn't know... okay, so the game comes with like 4 different scenes. Your base scene and then 3 others. Like one's suburbia, one's in a mall, and one is medieval times, with some cards to guide you through the story. I didn't know it was... it had... Some of the back of the box has some profanity, and that's not really for me. So I didn't know that till we were playing it. But what I appreciated is that when we played it, so there was, some cuss words on the back of one of the stories, but when we played it, actually, we kept it totally clean. It was, I was really impressed, and I really enjoyed that. But that was a reason that I didn't purchase the game, because I enjoyed it enough I would purchase it if it just had still just as serious a theme. I just don't need the cussing or some of the, some things that can go into innuendos and things like that. But take another sip here. So we had 5 of us playing, and what you do is you have a series of cards that are either relationships, items, or something else, location, and something else, and I don't remember. But what you do is you lay cards like in a connecting chain between players. So I'd put relationship between me and the girl to my left, and the relationship was slightly co-workers, but nothing more. Shut up about it. And then the relationship to the right was hero and chum, so like his lackey assistant. And you build the relationships all the way around. That was fun. And then the locations that connect you. So then each one of you takes a turn either building a scene or resolving. You can only do one. So you could build a scene, and I made a scene where my character was about to take the character next to me out. He was going to ask her out on a date for the very first time because they work in a jewelry shop together. And he was going to make a super special treat. He even put on his $80 Kmart suit that he bought for this. It's hot polyester, so he's a sweaty mess. And he was going to take her to the McDonald's in the mall and even pay for it by treating her to a 2 for $6 deal. That's right. So he was just about to ask her out. I set the scene. That's the end of my turn. You get to do that twice. So you go around twice. The person next to me can set a new scene or resolve mine. So if you set the scene, then everyone else gets to resolve it. So since I set the scene, they got to decide, is it going to be a positive or negative outcome? If it's positive, they give you a positive card, and negative, they give you a negative card. And you collect these, and they're worth points at the end, and the points decide whether you have a good or bad ending, basically. But again, you're not actually trying to win, but you kind of are by having a nice cohesive story. So they decided it was going to be negative, I think, so it may not have worked out. But anyway, then it goes to the next person. They choose to resolve a scene or build a scene. If you choose to resolve a scene, then all you do is you say, I want this scene to be resolved positively. So you take a positive card. Everyone else decides what the scene is. You just decide how it's resolved. So, excuse me, that's whiskey. So, if you want to be in control, then you resolve. If you want to be creative, then you set the scene and let others decide your fate. We ended up with a hilarious fiasco of a story that ended up involving a cult with human genes or whatever that accidentally got injected into the security guard, who became this hulked up Bane, and the girl I was proposing to ended up being the rival of the hero that I was a chum lackey to, and he ends up being an arrogant jerk who's actually brothers with another guy that's running the cult, who's secretly trying to get revenge on him, who are also working in cahoots with a thief over here who's trying to rob the jewelry store that she and I worked at. And by the end, my character, of course, came out on top being the strong character, ended up getting married, but unfortunately she was so miserable, she killed me and went to jail. But it was cool. It was a great, hilarious fiasco of a story. Lasted 2 hours, just like a real script, and we all loved it. And I actually won that in the play to win. My name got drawn. I didn't keep it just because, again, I didn't know about necessarily the language, and that's enough of a hiccup for me. I enjoyed the experience, though. If there was a cleaner version, I'd take it. So I gave it to a buddy that really loved the game as well. We all loved it. It was a wonderful experience. All right, so that was Fiasco. And I think the last one that I want to cover is Secret Hitler. Now, this title kind of pushes me away. I was afraid to play because of the title. I thought this really seems tasteless, but it is a social deduction voting game. And for me, 7 players was the sweet spot. 10 was a little too many, but I was also super tired. But you can play up to 10. I thought 7 was perfect. But what it is you are in Germany, and you are 2 different groups. It's a hidden role game. You're either liberals or fascists. So it's not Axis versus Allies. You're all in Germany. You're all German, but just the Liberal Party and the Fascist Party. And what it is, if you're in the Fascist Party, you are trying to get fascist laws passed and get Hitler as chancellor. If you're in the Liberal Party, you are just trying to get all of the liberal policies passed or assassinate Secret Hitler. So one of you is assigned, one of you is Secret Hitler. Only you know that. And the fascists also, have their cards, and then liberals. The majority are liberals and a smaller number of fascists. When you start the game, the liberals don't know anything. The fascists know who each other are, and they know who Hitler is. Hitler doesn't know who anybody is. All right, so he doesn't know who's trying to help him get into power and who's not. So the way it goes is you have a round of discussion where each person takes turn playing the president. And as the president, you have to select another player to be the chancellor. And once you pick someone to be the chancellor, everybody gets to cast a vote for yes or no. If it's yes, then that president and chancellor becomes the current government, and you get to enact one policy. So that's where it gets tricky, because if you are a fascist, you're probably going to want to pass a liberal policy early just to not give yourself away. If you're a liberal policy, but sometimes a fascist policy, because fascist policies come with a special ability. Because it's a fascist policy, so you get to exert more power, like look at someone's identity card or something like that. So, of course, as the fascist, you're trying to pretend you're liberal, same as Hitler, Secret Hitler. Again, I thought it would be so offensive. It's actually done tastefully to where it really is pre-war Germany, and you're seeing these 2 political parties and how they kind of duke it out. There's some accuracy even in it, almost like a social study. So I was surprised by that, and that made me much more comfortable with the game. Though, again, I would love to see that as like Salem witch trials or something. Anyway, I know there's other themes out there, but that was really fascinating. Anyway, the first game I was liberal. The second game I was Hitler. And man, that's stressful. But and I hate to say that it feels good to win, but Secret Hitler did get picked as chancellor, so we fooled everybody. But man, that was intense. And then I got Hitler again, and I was so tired. And when you're the Secret Hitler, it's a lot. It's a lot to try to act like you're not. So when I got it the second time, it was midnight. I was so tired. I was still having fun, but I just couldn't keep it up. So yeah, so liberals won on that one. But I really enjoyed that, and I was pleased with how tastefully they did it. I don't know how they pulled that off, but they did. If you've played it, let me know. Let me know some of your strategies. I replayed it through my head, and there were so many cool strategies that I missed that on the second play I could have done. if you get a chance and you're in, North Carolina, or you come into the area, keep an eye out for the board games at the beach in the spring and come and play a game with me. Oh, I got to see Mike from One Bookcase. One Bookcase. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Oh my goodness. On Instagram, I know. Yeah, it's One Bookcase. And I didn't get to play a game with him, and I was bummed about that, but it's because I was so into these social deduction games. So as a solo gamer, apparently, in groups, I like social deduction. I'm not super into Euros in groups. I love Euros solo. Let me know how it is for you. All right, I'm about to my last sip here. I love you all. Thank you so much, as always. Give me a like. See you all next time.